The 10 largest pythons in the world. Longer than a 6-story building. Weighing over 2,400 pounds. With jaws so massive that even the largest crocodiles are no match for them. In this edition of Guidepedia, we'll take you on a jungle adventure to see these dangerous yet mysterious giant pythons. Click subscribe, prepare yourself mentally, and let's set off. Carpet python. The carpet python is named for its unique pattern resembling a carpet. It's primarily found in Australia, New Guinea, and some Indonesian islands. Typical carpet pythons range in length from 4 to 8 feet, with the longest recorded specimen exceeding 13 feet. Their coloration varies depending on geographical environment, with green and yellow patterns making them difficult for snake catchers to spot. Danger can be lurking right beside you. Prey targeted by these snakes rarely escape because carpet pythons are not only massive but also incredibly fast. They even possess potent venom. According to a report by Death News on May 11th, a snake catcher in Queensland captured a terrifying moment on camera when the largest python he had ever seen lunged at him with its mouth open. For years ago, he was dispatched to capture a 10-foot-long carpet python. Carpet pythons rarely show aggression, but as soon as he approached, the snake began attacking him, which he found very strange. The snake catcher explained that for carpet pythons, especially large ones, they're typically gentle giants. He noted that the snake kept striking the ground with its tail repeatedly, which they don't usually do. The most likely explanation was that this carpet python had previously experienced several unpleasant encounters with humans. In the end, the snake catcher released it back into the jungle area. Asian rock python. The Asian rock python, also known as the Indian python or black-tailed python, is a non-venomous snake species belonging to the Pythonidae family. It's primarily distributed throughout South Asia and is the largest snake species in the region. Adult Asian rock pythons average around 13 feet in length and weigh approximately 66 to 132 pounds or more, with a circumference exceeding that of other common snake species. The longest recorded specimen measured 19 feet. These pythons hide in mammal burrows, hollow tree trunks, water-adjacent thickets, and mangrove forests. They are excellent swimmers who often use water as their base of operations and can remain submerged for extended periods when necessary. If you happen to encounter one while hiking, you can easily escape by running quickly, as Asian rock pythons are slow-moving and typically timid in nature. Even when facing danger, they're not adept at escaping. Their movement path is predominantly straight, with their bodies maintaining a linear shape while moving. Media reports that in Taipei City's Forest District, worshippers discovered a giant python coiled around the beam of a century-old earth god temple. It was estimated to be about 13 feet long, with a body as thick as a calf's leg, constantly crawling around. Experts believe this giant snake might be an Asian rock python, an invasive species native to southern Asia. Its most distinctive feature is the irregular brown, saddle-shaped patterns on its body. The snake likely came to the temple seeking warmth due to the increased number of people and incense burning during the Lunar New Year celebrations. Golden python. In the experience of many adventurers, the more beautiful a creature's colors, the more dangerous it tends to be. The golden python, with scales that shine like gold, may look frightening, but actually has a very gentle temperament. Golden pythons prefer high-temperature environments and inhabit monsoon forests, dry forests, and vast grasslands. They also enjoy soaking in water occasionally, which makes Taiwan particularly suitable for their growth. Though docile in nature, they are a type of python, specifically a white birch mutation of the Burmese python, and are an extremely rare variant. Adult specimens typically reach 16 to 20 feet in length, with the longest measuring up to 23 feet. Golden pythons grow relatively quickly. In just 5 years, they can reach weights of 88 pounds with bodies extending to 13 feet long. Even though they're non-venomous, golden pythons remain quite dangerous to humans. They primarily subdue prey through constriction, making escape nearly impossible once targeted. Fortunately, golden pythons lack melanin, resulting in lower immunity and difficulty surviving in the wild. Consequently, Their wild population numbers are relatively small. Recently in Australia, a household discovered a 16-foot golden python at their doorstep. The terrified homeowners, afraid to leave their house, had to contact a snake-catching expert to handle the situation. Even the expert, who had encountered countless snakes throughout his career, couldn't help but exclaim repeatedly that he had never seen such a massive python before. Following regulations, he ultimately handed the giant snake over to the relevant authorities for proper handling. Amethystine python. The amethystine python is a large arboreal python species distributed throughout the South Pacific region and northern Australia. It has a long, slender body measuring between 11 and 16 feet, with the largest recorded specimen reaching 28 feet. As Australia's largest snake species, this massive serpent is known for hunting large mammals like kangaroos, a sight that sends chills down one's spine from a distance. At the Melbourne Zoo, there's a young male amethystine python measuring 18 feet, currently the largest captive specimen. In the wild, these pythons inhabit tropical rainforests, shrublands, and shady areas beneath exposed rocks. The amethystine python is non-venomous and kills its prey through constriction and compression, causing suffocation. However, its enormous size poses a threat to children. In Queensland, Australia, an employee from a pest control company was conducting a routine inspection at a nearby residence when he discovered a massive snake skin in the attic. Remarkably, this python was at least 20 feet long, equivalent to a two-story building, so large it couldn't be fully wrapped around a truck. The species was identified as an amethystine python, and this shocking secret was unknown even to the homeowner's husband. The homeowner explained that the snake was discovered in their chicken coop 40 years ago, when house wiring was being chewed through by mice. She had the ingenious idea of placing the amethystine python in the attic to catch the rodents. Surprisingly, the mice truly disappeared, so she decided to let the python continue living in the attic, knowing her husband would likely remove all snakes. She kept this secret from him for 40 years. Living with a giant snake for 40 years, just hearing about it gives one the creeps. African rock python. Crocodiles are already considered apex predators at the top of the food chain. Yet the African rock python's prey list boldly includes crocodiles as an option. The African rock python is a non-venomous python species belonging to the Pythonidae family. As Africa's largest snake, its body is quite lengthy, reaching up to 25 feet at maximum. Primarily distributed throughout the Saharan region of Africa, the rock python has a ferocious temperament and easily launches attacks when disturbed. Since it lacks venom, it mainly relies on its body's powerful constriction force to capture prey. Despite the African rock python being so powerful and frightening, a peculiar news story from India in 2015 reported that one was actually choked to death by its own prey at a South African safari resort. An African rock python that had swallowed a massive porcupine weighing 30 pounds was found dead 6 days later with an extremely bloated abdomen. After park staff cut open the python's stomach, they discovered a partially digested porcupine whose quills had pierced the snake's digestive tract, essentially the equivalent of being pierced by thousands of arrows, likely causing its death. During an interview, park staff explained that porcupines are actually one of the python's regular food sources. And generally speaking, no matter how sharp the quills are, pythons don't have difficulty swallowing them. Therefore, they speculated that the python's bizarre cause of death was probably due to excessive observation by tourists, creating enormous pressure that caused it to hurriedly try regurgitating the porcupine to escape, only to get fatally stuck on the quills. This might be the most embarrassing death in snake history. Burmese python. As the first python species to be classified as native to Taiwan, the Burmese python is one of the 6 largest snake species in the world. They primarily inhabit tropical rainforests and are more commonly encountered in areas close to water sources. These pythons are excellent swimmers, capable of staying underwater for up to half an hour. Sometimes they can also be found in trees. The Burmese python's continuous growth is facilitated by the proliferation of vertebrae, with females typically growing larger than males. Males reach sexual maturity at a length of about 5.5 feet, while females mature at around 8.5 feet. In their natural environment, they generally reach these dimensions within 2 to 3 years. Burmese pythons have stocky bodies with relatively large heads and small torsos. They are non-venomous with a predominantly light-colored body featuring many distinct black markings. Their colorful patterns are highly sought after, making their skin a premium product in the leather industry. The Southwest Florida Natural Conservation Area reported that a pair of biologists recently captured the heaviest Burmese python in Florida's history. This female python measured nearly 16 feet long and weighed 216 pounds, with 122 developing eggs in her abdomen. After dissection, the team discovered several hooves in the python's digestive system, indicating that its last meal was an adult white-tailed deer. Such an astonishing discovery left everyone gasping in shock. Green anaconda. The green anaconda is the largest member of the boa family and one of the largest snakes in the world. They average between 10 and 15 feet in length and weigh between 66 and 123 pounds. The largest specimens can reach 26 feet and 350 pounds. Although green anacondas are enormous, fortunately, they are non-venomous. They primarily inhabit South America, dwelling in swamps, wetlands, and calm rivers. Their diet consists of fish, birds, many mammals, and reptiles. Wild green anacondas have an average lifespan of only 10 years, with a maximum of 20 years. Green anacondas can grow to over 21 feet, with some boat anacondas reportedly reaching lengths of 33 to 43 feet. Recently, a diver encountered what might be the world's largest existing snake while diving in Brazil's Formoso River, a green anaconda measuring 23 feet long and weighing 198 pounds. This massive python was lying across the riverbed. The diver was fortunate enough to make eye contact with the giant snake and captured images of its entire body. Its exaggerated dimensions left people speechless, resembling a prehistoric creature. At the time, the green anaconda, resting on the riverbed, was quite curious about the diver's first appearance. When it discovered someone was filming, it not only stared at the camera lens, but repeatedly flicked its tongue against the lens to investigate. This reaction from the giant snake also greatly excited the diver. Reticulated python. Throughout history, there have been many rumors worldwide about supergiant snakes, such as 52-foot or 180-foot monsters. The snake certified by Guinness World Records as the world's largest was a reticulated python exhibited in a small park in Indonesia. According to reports, it measured 49 feet in length and weighed 985 pounds. This is the longest and largest snake discovered by humans in nearly a century and is currently the longest known snake in the world. This massive serpent was found in a primitive forest on Sumatra Island in western Indonesia. Local people captured it and sold it to the park. The park management named this giant snake Osmanthus. Although the name sounds gentle, it's said that when Osmanthus opens its enormous mouth, it's terrifying, capable of easily swallowing an entire person. The indigenous Kubu people, who rarely interact with the outside world, revered it as a ruler. After learning about this, snake traders worked for several months to finally convince the Kubu people to allow this giant python to be publicly displayed at Java. The snake trader stated that the python's appetite was astonishing, with a preference for consuming dogs, approximately 5 dogs per month. Reportedly, the python was 19 feet long when captured, but due to undigested, decaying parasites in its stomach, 4 feet of its body had to be removed, leaving it at 49 feet long. However, in 2004, a researcher named John measured on site and found that Osmanthus's actual length was only about 20 feet. Even the medusa in the picture was much larger. After extensive verification, it was discovered that the giant snake's length had never been scientifically measured but was merely stated by the zookeeper. This claim was then cited by Republic Leopard and began to spread, eventually being directly included in the Guinness World Records, which led to its global publicity. Amazon anaconda. In the heart of Venezuela's wilderness, for several centuries, hunters have vividly described this human-eating, 100-meter-long monster the Amazon anaconda. According to reliable scientific data, it is the largest snake species, inhabiting the trunks of adult males in South America. The largest specimens weigh up to 249 pounds and measure approximately 20 feet long. The movie Anaconda drew its inspiration from this creature. Anacondas are naturally aquatic, typically dwelling in shallow waters along muddy banks. Their mouths can open approximately 180 degrees, with 4 rows of independently moving teeth. They have no jawbone, and the 2 middle rows of teeth in the upper jaw can move up and down, facilitating the swallowing of prey. Their skin can stretch, allowing them to swallow prey larger than their own body size. If you encounter an Amazon anaconda in the wild that considers you prey, you'd better pray for good fortune. The anaconda's entire body has evolved as a weapon for hunting. Its tongue serves as a chemical detector, capable of sensing the scent of surrounding creatures. Its scales can detect nearby vibrations, while its eyes function as natural thermal imaging devices, easily spotting warm-blooded prey underwater or in swamps. Additionally, since anaconda teeth curve backward, if one bites your arm or leg, never try to forcibly pull away. Doing so would cause even greater injury. Titanoboa. After dinosaurs, which dominated Earth for over 100 million years, became extinct, Titanoboa became the largest terrestrial carnivore on Earth, reigning supreme for several million years. Titanoboa potentially exceeded 50 feet in length, weighed more than 2,400 pounds, and had a body circumference of over 3 feet at its thickest point. These 3 figures alone sufficiently illustrate how terrifying they were. For creatures of such enormous size, their food sources were equally massive, typically half-ton caimans, 10-foot lungfish, and some large contemporary turtles. What can reassure humanity is that Titanoboas went extinct nearly 58 million years ago and no longer pose a threat to humans. To date, the largest known snake is Titanoboa ceruginosus. This prehistoric python was discovered among 28 specimen fossils from the La Guajira coal mine in Colombia. These fossils indicate that Titanoboas, which lived during the Paleocene period 58 to 60 million years ago, reached maximum lengths of 40 to 50 feet, with bodies approximately 3 feet wide at their thickest point, weighing about 2,500 pounds. Today, we can only learn about these giant monsters through film technology. The proverb, "once bitten by a snake, afraid of rope for 10 years, has long been widely circulated. After seeing these giant pythons with their terrifying combat capabilities, do you feel chills running down your spine? What other giant snakes have you encountered? Feel free to leave comments and interact in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like Guidepedia. Next time, we'll bring you more exciting content.